hypothetical. Fun little hypothetical.
Can't wait.
Not even really hypothetical. Just something I've been thinking.
Oh, we're live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Green room.
Back.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the deadest part of the NFL.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Like July is dead, but you expect July to be dead.
Yeah, and also July, at least you're like, well, training camp's almost.
Yes. There's training camp preview.
And it says she's picking 32nd, which is awesome, by the way. It's very cool to pick 32nd.
Yeah.
It is much less exciting for the draft. It's just hard to grab onto it.
Well, it's hard to like have a prospect.
You have no idea who the hell's going to be there. It's like, oh, Malachi Stark. Sure, take that guy. You can go 15th. We have no idea, you know?
I'll say this about Malachi Starks. The Eagles, big time interest in him.
Yeah, for real?
Yeah.
Well, let's say so. Look at that. We're doing the green room.
It's
a
little fun thing.
You got
for
little reporting in
for
there.
people that are, yeah.
Hello, everyone. All right, should we roll?
Yes.
You can say that on the pod. Hey, hello. It is the Goedert podcast presented by the Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook app. Elliot Shore Parks, James Heltzer with you.
What up?
Nothing to talk about. This is you got
slow.
Nada, nothing, zip. We
Yeah.
could do a Kendall Lamb pod.
Yeah. Well, of course. So, of course, they sign him after I do the daily pod, but that's okay because we'll talk about him today.
Yes, yes.
Had a nice little me morning. I got a haircut.
Look at
early
you,
in the morning,
little
which
me
I
morning
exactly.
for Elliot.
Time in the sauna.
You could argue all your time is Elliot time.
True. Early morning haircut. What are your thoughts?
So I never get to do it anymore.
Good point.
So I don't like, but I do like when I finish work, I'll go over and get it done like right away or something.
Still
like
relatively
that. Yeah, so
early.
like from
10:30.
Yeah, I guess that counts as morning still, right?
I've always thought of a haircut as like an afternoon.
I generally
thing,
do on the way to pick Zoe up. I'll go get the haircut and pick Zoe up or whatever. But
the place I get my haircut opens at 6 a.m. And I used to always think like that's wild. Who's getting the hair? But it's kind of nice. Like you do it in the morning, you feel fresh throughout the day. I feel like if you're a big businessman, like you want to big haircut in the morning.
You're a big business guy.
Yeah, exactly. You want a haircut in the morning to like feel fresh for your big meeting. Like whereas I'm just like I have to be at 10 to record my pod. Which is on video. So I guess there's a haircut component to that. But but it feels good.
I'm happy you're happy.
Also, I have a question for you.
Good.
So Jeffrey Lurie speaks next week.
Mm-hmm.
What are like the questions the people want? Like what are I think there's the White House thing. Like
sure. I think
I'm not like super interested.
I don't really
I
care
think
about
that's
that.
the
Yeah.
right.
I think
Did
the
you
most
see the Chiefs are going, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, like what a loser move. Like what are we doing here? Like what's the point of this? Like let's just have all 32 teams come to the end. Great idea.
Well, did you see why it is they're going?
No, whatever it is, it's a loser move.
Because they didn't go in 2020 because of COVID. So here's my question to you. I agree, not a fan.
Yeah.
But let's say the
loser
Eagles
move
won the Super Bowl in 2020 and didn't go to the White House.
Because of COVID?
Yeah. How would you feel about them going now?
I would think it was lame.
Yeah, I agree. Like half the roster is probably gone.
Yeah, like it's like different
I do
teams.
get the rationale of like, oh, you never got to go, but whatever.
Yeah,
so anyway, there's the White House.
Very lame. I think the biggest question for Jeffrey Lurie is what's going on with the cash thing. Like, what's that? Jeffrey. People are talking about the fact that you guys don't want to spend
that's
like
an interesting.
You have spent the most of any owner in the league. Like, fluff them up a little bit saying that, but be like, Jeffrey, what's going on? Is there a cash flow issue? Are you not spending for a particular reason? That's the question I want to know.
That's a good one. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's my number one thing.
Yeah, that's a good one. I feel like there's Nick contract stuff.
Sure, but I agree there is
about that.
He's not gonna say anything, and also like because it's interesting that it hasn't happened yet. Because we all thought like the season would end and be like, bang, here you go, highest paid coach in the league, whatever. But I also, and you kind of alluded to this on the air today when Joe asked you about it, where you're like, I mean, like it's not that hard a contract to figure out. Like it's not that compelling to me in the sense that like he's going to sign. Like I don't think there's any chance that Nick Sirianni does not have a contract.
I agree. The only thing I've been thinking about is like if you're Nick, like
you want to be a free agent.
Well, no. But like, why wait? Like, who knows what could happen?
I agree.
Now and
of
August.
Course.
Like now, maybe behind the scenes, like regardless, I think he's going to sign a deal.
It could already be done, and they're waiting for the right time to announce it.
Yeah, it could be that they want it to like maybe be a big deal in August.
Exactly.
Like, who knows?
Yeah.
But if I was Nick, like, who knows what could happen between now and then? Like, why risk it? But I guess he is.
Yeah. So that I just don't know if it's that interesting.
No, I know, but that's one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I think the cash flow thing is definitely the number one thing.
I mean, he did. Like, I don't know if this is great podcasting, but I'm curious what people honestly like. If you guys have a question that you think is good
in the chat,
the chat.
Tucker, make Tucker work a little bit. What a nice thought.
Yeah.
You know, Tucker actually do something. I don't know what he's probably like. Do his grocery list or something over there.
I don't buy groceries.
Yeah. I think grocery shopping quickly
is the feminine thing.
No, I was going to go the other way.
I
In fact, like, so Emily never grocery shops. Like, she will come with me sometimes, but I am the grocery shopper in our family.
Interesting. So I would say I grocery shop more than Kristen, but I think I do like the run out 3 times a week and get stuff. If we do like a big grocery shop, I'm mostly a bystander. Like I'm pushing the cart.
Oh,
like
no,
Kristen's
yeah.
doing
So
like
we do it together. When we do it together, we do it together. I am the one who does it the vast majority.
I'm so bad at grocery shopping.
Yeah. Well, I definitely, when I do it, I call her a lot. That happens.
Where were we going with this? How did groceries come up?
We were asking Tucker to check the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was doing my grocery.
Yeah.
Correct. That was it.
Yep.
That was
And he's
it.
like,
Oh, here's what I was going to ask you.
Like, my woman gets me groceries.
Do you
That's what
think?
he's
Yeah,
saying.
essentially.
Yeah.
Do you think?
My only
Yeah,
request
that's what he
is
said,
that-
right? I mean, he's like, what, a man get groceries? Are you crazy?
Do you think it's more practical sometimes, like just to? It's not really. Like sometimes, like we spend like $300 when we grocery shop.
Uh-huh.
It's almost cheaper just to like eat out 5 times a week.
It's not.
I know it's not.
It's really not.
It's not. But
Yeah.
it's not like it's not. I'd be curious to know the difference. I think
It's pretty high.
the health component,
Well,
would-
if you
especially if you're getting delivery, there's a lot of
if you
fees with
cook,
that.
if you cook every night, if you buy stuff to cook with and cook every night, and actually like make dishes and not just make prepared things that
I
cost
just don't
money a
get
lot
how it
already,
always
it's
ends up
way cheaper.
costing so much. Like I feel like
Because life is expensive.
it is.
Everything is
true.
expensive. I think about this all the time. Like everywhere I go, it's like, wow,
I feel
how
like
do people
yeah.
survive?
I
in
feel like I
life?
can't escape the grocery store without spending like
It's not.
especially a shop like
Mhm.
$190,
Mhm.
$200.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah. So if you have any questions for Jeffrey, Lloyd, should I ask him about
Get him in the chat. Tucker will compile the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fire him off later.
I mean, he did have a hand obviously in the Patullo thing. Like if he's concerned about having an inexperienced
Sure.
coordinator.
I think that's
again.
worth asking that.
Jalen. I don't know what you asked about that. How proud are you of him?
Yeah, you knew, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Congrats.
All right.
buddy.
So this maybe is a good segue.
We're
That's-
not.
But yeah, whatever.
You're gonna segue either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I've been thinking about this a lot recently, and by that I mean like the last.
Oh, is
4 or
this
5
your
days.
your thing you were talking about? I'm excited for this.
The winner loser?
Oh no, the Hertz Foles thing.
Yeah. This is the Hertz.
Okay.
Foles
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
said you had a Hertz Foles thing.
I have a Hertz Foles thing. So
Is this who you're texting? Is this the winner loser? Okay, go ahead.
no, that's separate. Although I'd
Okay.
be curious for your perspective
Yeah.
on that too. All right. So to be clear, obviously they're both awesome. Top 2, like no disparaging either of them.
Yeah.
But here's my question.
Both cakes.
Yes. Who do you think deserves more credit for the Super Bowl they won?
Just the game itself?
No,
Or the overall
like, of the
season?
winning of the Super Bowl.
I think it's
Because
Jalen.
so I think it's Jalen too. I mean, like obviously Foles, the defense was bad in that game.
Yeah.
So like
and
he
Foles
had
was
to do more.
unbelievable.
Foles was obviously also awesome in the championship game.
Mhm.
But Jalen was awesome in both those games.
Yeah.
Right. Like
And
now, obviously,
Jalen was-
the defense was way better in that game. So you could argue there's not as much pressure. Although I do think we underrate a little bit how good the offense was. Like the defense was unbelievable.
He
But
put up 55 points.
yeah, but also no, I was talking the Super Bowl. my
Okay,
bad. But
both. Yeah.
but either
Both
way-
games. Either way.
obviously, complementary football, both sides help each other. It did make the defense's job way easier that they were up like 24
Of
points.
course.
You know, like, and I know the
Getting their
defense
ears
helped them
back
interceptions and all that, but
Yeah, of course.
so for Foles and Hurts, like the Foles argument is he was probably better in the Super Bowl than
Yes.
Jalen was,
Yes.
right? But the Hurts argument is he literally started the whole like he
Yeah.
contributed.
I don't even think it's close.
You don't
to
think
be
it's
honest.
close?
I think it's
Okay.
Hurts easily. I think if you wanted to say if you combine Wentz and Foles into one quarterback and say which year was the quarter,
Right.
that's a discussion. I think that's a really
I think they
interesting
probably
discussion.
got better quarterback play.
Yeah,
in
I think
2017.
26. I think if you put Wentz and Foles together, they win. If it's just Foles versus Hurts, I think it's Hurts.
Yeah, because Hurts played all year.
Yeah.
And, all
Yeah.
right. Okay, that would just been because I do think like Foles was pretty unbelievable.
He was. You
Yeah.
know how I feel.
No,
about
I
Nick.
know
Yeah,
you do,
yeah.
but I think it's probably Jalen.
yeah, I think it's Jalen.
Yeah. All right.
You want to do your other thing?
Yeah. So
He's ready to dive in. And we're
random
gonna
thought pod.
do Eagles near
Um,
Well, we just said there's nothing to talk about. Like we're
Yeah, I mean, if anyone has legitimate Eagles questions in the chat, maybe we
sure.
can do something.
Fire
today.
him. Fire him our way.
Okay. When you think of like who in Philly sports do you think is most attached to either like being known as a winner or a loser? And let me give some caveats here.
Mhm.
Like not whether it's true or not, just like when you think of like this guy's
Winner.
known for losing or this guy's known for winning, like we'll talk about the semantics of the argument, but like who do you think in your mind in Philly sports history is most known as a winner and who is most like attached with losing?
So recency bias. Like the first two names that came to my head were Jalen Hurts for winning.
Yeah.
And it's not just the Super Bowl. It's just that's what like it's the argument for Jalen. Like he's just a winner. Like it is what it is. That's what people attach to his name. And Joel Embiid was the first name that popped in my head when you said
those are my two names. So
and again, it is recency bias. I'm sure if we go back in time, like you think like, and it's funny because like Mike Schmidt now won 1980, but they lost a lot before that. Like there was a time where people in Philly would have called Mike Schmidt a loser, but then he won.
I also think it's hard.
So it's hard to like, be in the moment with all that
right.
stuff.
So I think it's hard sometimes
like
with baseball.
McNabb is such an interesting one.
McNabb's the other one.
I actually think of McNabb more as a winner
so do
as
I.
a loser.
So do I.
But I think a lot of Philadelphia would probably call him a loser.
Which is so here's an interesting fact. I looked this up. And I did talk about it on the Daily Pod. But regardless, like if you look at McNabb's career winning percentage in the regular season, it's basically right there with Jalen. I think it's like 3 or 4 percentage points lower, but he also did it for twice as long.
Much longer
so
time.
like I agree and I don't even know if it's really recency bias with either of them. I guess it's
no, it's not.
But
it's just that those are the first.
Yes,
yeah.
But with Jalen, I agree. He is known as a winner. Like that is like even nationally.
Yeah,
like, that is his strength. Like
that's like what he's.
If you ask any analyst,
people use it as like a slam against him. It's like all he does is win. It's like
Right.
yeah, well, guess what?
And I also think if you ask any national analyst or like even coach around the league, like what's Jalen's best quality, I think they would go he wins.
Yeah,
I think that's what they would say.
Too, yeah.
And he does win.
I honestly don't know if we've ever had a player just more synonymous with that and no other type thing.
But like
now, real quick to the loser thing that I think about, like I'm sure there are players like if you think of like Steve Jeltz or like these people who are parts of like a decade or it wasn't
like
quite that long.
Someone Bobby Abreu.
Bobby Abreu at least is a good player, but yes, like that idea of people who were just on lose, like Bobby Abreu at least was here when they started to win some games, the Tommy stuff and all that stuff.
Right.
But like the people who were here from like if you were a Philly from like 1984 to 1989 or 1992 or whatever,
right?
You were like last place like 6 of those years.
Yeah.
You know whatever. You were really bad. It's like I'm sure there are guys who if you were really into the team at that time, you would be like, let me tell you who the ultimate loser is. It's this guy. I think he's actually a loser. So you know what I mean? It's like a different type of the question. I think it's when you get to the playoffs and lose is when you really.
Well, that's what's interesting is to be known as a loser, you have to lose in the playoffs. But you have to win to an extent. Because to your point, there are teams, especially like let's use the Phillies, not even that unrecent, but like the Phillies didn't make the playoffs for like 11 years.
Yeah, 12 years, I think.
12 years. So obviously you could categorize those as like losers, right? Like but because they never actually played in any meaningful games.
It was 11 years, my bad.
Yeah, and I think that's what benefits Jalen too, is like he's played in and won so many big games. Like, and obviously the Super Bowl being the thing. But with McNabb, what's interesting to me is like I view the early 2000 Eagles like as such a success story. And I know
I get it, but like you can't.
I'm just thinking like how I
get it.
They made the championship game 5 times with McNabb.
5.
They made it to the Super Bowl. Like I get that I think it's fair to like call them like chokers.
Disappointing.
But the other interesting thing is I was looking at this yesterday. So the 5 championship losses, the Rams won, not a bad loss. We would agree, right?
Yes.
Right. First year on the road, great team.
The other two
are really bad. Bucks
and
Panthers
are bad.
Very bad. Like I think the Panthers is actually a worse loss, but just because the Bucks was at the vet,
Panthers were at the vet too. It's just that
the Panthers weren't at the vet.
Yes, it was.
It was Lincoln Financial Field.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I meant in Philly. I didn't.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
I don't think it's
I just mean because the vet thing adds to it.
I think it's also that McNabb got knocked out of that game. So it's like you look at that game and you're like, who knows what would have happened? Like it's like the game itself feels like.
I wonder what game they were bigger favorites in. Did they even like do lines back then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know if it's like public knowledge.
I think they were 4-point favorites against the Panthers.
They do lines in the early 2000s. They've been lines forever. Since,
right, but I didn't know if it's like trackable data. Like obviously, gambling was much more illegal, right?
Yeah, well, it was illegal. Period. Not much.
No, I know,
illegal.
but that's
it was just illegal. Period.
So,
like,
but like
no more about
in the early 2000s was like radio and TV.
You've heard of bookies, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
They're 4-point favorites.
I mean, well,
against
that's
Tampa
what the Al Michaels thing. They always used to make the joke. Al Michaels would
True.
do the, that touchdown might not seem like it matters,
like
but
they're 4-point favorites.
But he did it because there were lines, because people were betting
on
it.
Right.
That's the point. Yes,
that's pretty crazy. They were equal amount favorites in both games.
Oh, that is interesting.
Because I always think going into so anyway, the Bucks and Panthers definitely bad losses. They beat the Falcons, so that's not a bad loss. And then the Cardinals game, I don't know. How do you like view that?
I think
game?
it was like
they went out of nowhere. I think it looked
they were
worse with everything
seed.
added.
Yeah, I don't think it's as bad as the 2.
And then they lost to the Patriots, but I wouldn't even say that was a choke job. Like
Patriots were just better.
Yeah, he didn't play great, but they must have been.
But yeah,
Yeah, and he threw up that
3
afternoon.
interceptions.
But like, I don't know, like they were really good for like
They
4 or 5
They
years.
were. I just
Yeah.
don't think you can call them a success story because they didn't win.
So would you say, but so when I tweeted out the biggest loser or winner thing, it was almost all Joel and McNabb. Like,
really?
Yeah.
So I think
For loser, I mean.
yeah, I think
Joel is to me.
Joel's the one.
the
Like
creator.
again, that was the first. I just was doing it off like what were the first
Right.
names that hit me, and it was like Hurts and Embiid. Like
Yeah. Well, I think with Joel, the thing too is not only the playoff failure, but like
it's all of it.
the process. Like his nickname is known. He is known as the process.
Yeah,
Like he is tied to the
exactly
process,
right.
and the process is the most famous example of losing in the history of the city. Like outside of like specific
1964
games.
or whatever. The
Yeah, but I just that was like 2 years of intentional losing. So, but what other like Eagles would you say are like known as winners and losers? Foles is a good one.
Yeah, Foles.
I mean, he won
definitely
all the time when he was
thought
here.
of as a winner for sure. I mean, Carson kind of became a loser.
Rich Kotite's a good one. I know we're just doing players.
We're sure, coach without a doubt.
I don't know if Carson's a winner or a loser.
I think he's a loser. I think he's considered a loser now.
But I think that's more. I'm not a person.
The way he acted and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
I
That's
consider
not like
Carson
on
a
the field
loser.
stuff.
Yeah. But also it is on the field too. It's like translated into that. But I know what you mean.
Because then you get to role players too. Like Lane has won 2 Super Bowls. Like, and he could win a third.
Yeah, like I mean, BG. You think he's a winner, but it's like.
Do you think of Andy as a winner?
Now I do. Not
well,
here.
I'm just the Eagles time.
He was a winner here.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I guess it's the same discussion.
It's the same discussion.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting.
So anyway, just been thinking a lot about
it. Good.
I've
been thinking a lot about it. This is what you do. Spend your time.
Exactly.
You do this though. Like that's not a joke.
Like I get a question in my head, and
I know
like, everyone. In my
I know
life.
you just fire them off.
Very curious for everybody's opinion. Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
All right. Should we talk some current Eagles?
Yeah.
Biggest needs, Elliott Shore Park.
Are we doing this
you
right now? Okay. I didn't know if you were doing that.
No, I'm gonna do that in a minute.
Okay.
I was just holding it. Getting
Yeah.
ready. We'll do it. They're coming.
Yeah.
I'm nervous about Baccarat.
Dude, let me tell you. Kristen loves the Baccarat thing.
No way.
Like we were out Saturday night.
This.
We were out Saturday night with friends. She was like playing it for people.
No way.
And it is. We'll talk about it more when we do it. But have you listened to it?
I've never listened to it.
When you listen to it, it is another level of absurdity. It is hysterical.
Okay, good.
Okay. Like when you actually like hear us doing it in person, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But when you hear us doing it.
All right, good.
All right. So biggest needs. So I think their biggest need by a wide margin is safety.
I do too.
Yeah.
So Elliot, I came into this feeling the exact same way. And we talked about in the air today. One of our polls was what's their biggest need for the draft.
What one?
Huh?
What one?
Edge rusher one.
Wow.
Just people always want edge rushers.
Yeah, it's a more important position.
It is.
They have better players.
They have better players. I just feel like safety, like they don't have a starting safety right
Agreed.
now. Yes. So talk to me. Where is the team at? I know obviously the draft, Malachi Starks' name that came up in the green room. And then also free agency, the Justin Simmons thing is still hanging out.
Yeah. So Malachi Starks, Malachi Starks is like Eagles' interest there.
Yeah.
Like I would keep an eye on Malachi Starks. Like
all right.
Now,
I mean, obviously he's a Georgia kid,
and he might
so
not
helps.
make it to 32, but that's the tough thing.
It seems like you never know.
I think
these guys.
To me, he seems, and it's early on, but like
he seems like a riser.
19 to 27.
Yeah, he seems like a riser.
Yeah,
yeah.
But also, like it is a safety. I don't know.
I agree.
I mean, they don't normally go traditionally very high, right?
Yeah.
Like Kyle Hamilton went 14.
Yeah,
so
he was a generation.
Yeah, and I don't think Malachi Starks is viewed that way.
Agree. And also, it's just there's a lot of good defensive players in this draft.
Yeah. Well, and I think there'll be 3 or 4 quarterbacks and like an edge, tackles, all that stuff.
So you think 3 or 4 will go before 32 quarterbacks? I
you
think 3.
figure
I think
Sanders,
like
Cam
Sanders,
Ward,
and Jackson Dart. You think a 4th will go? Though?
Maybe not. Maybe just 3.
Yeah, I think those 3 will go. I think Dart's moving up. I think Dart will get in the first round.
Definitely. I think Dart will go for it.
Yeah.
Who would be 4th? Who's the 4th guy? Am I missing a big name? I
don't know. I've done nothing with quarterbacks because I haven't really paid attention. I know those 3. That's where I'm at with it.
But regardless, when it comes to safety, look, Sidney Brown, who knows? Could be awesome. I think definitely is like a hard worker, great guy, like hard hitter. I'm a little skeptical. So like, I don't love the idea of going into training camp and like Sidney being the guy.
And I like the way he flies around. Like I like his energy and all that, especially with the CJGJ bringing
awesome
that
special teams.
The biggest concern, I can't remember who said it first. Maybe it was you, but the fact that whenever a safety was off the field last year, that Christian McCollum was the guy they went to. Like That concerns me. Like
Now-
the fact that he's not the backup safety over Tristan McCullum. That's like, well, what's going on?
I do think one thing, this is a lot of coaches, but like Vic plays his guys.
Yeah,
Like once
I know.
Vic likes a guy, like you're in. And ask Devin White. Once he doesn't, like you're out. So I do think part of it is.
Could this be a situation? Because this is a guy the Eagles drafted before Vic got here.
Yeah.
Where the front office really high on a guy, Vic maybe less high, and we get in an
Maybe,
interesting
For
situation.
sure.
here?
I mean, but now Vic.
Now look, they let Vic sit Bryce Huff all last year, so like
Yeah.
Vic clearly has some power when it comes to play.
Now, and also like I think they traded CJ because they don't want to pay him. I don't think it was like a belief in Sydney.
I agree with
I think
that.
they're like Sydney's there.
But why put out that they like Sidney Brown?
I just
like,
think
that
it's-
was something that was
Yeah, I think it's just like a
fed to
nice thing
reporter
to
put out.
say. Like it's just a nice like, hey, we have Sydney. You want to see if he can play. Now, Lewis Seen was brought here while Vic was here, so that's noteworthy. But the tough thing about if you draft a safety in the first round is like that's it for Sydney. Like Sydney could play if someone gets hurt.
He's your gunner.
But like, yeah, but if you draft a Malachi Starks, that is your guy.
You're telling Sydney.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like Sydney is now a backup for his career until he goes somewhere else, barring injury. So the thing with safety is I think it's the biggest need on the roster. I don't think it's the most cost-effective position to draft. Like, obviously, any rookie you draft in the first round that becomes a Pro Bowl talent, you're getting at a discount just because they're making so much less than market. But Justin Reed, who I think is a very, very good safety,
Yeah, he didn't make that much.
got $33 million over 3 years,
22
like that.
guaranteed,
Yeah,
yeah.
so like, if you draft a stud edge or a defensive tackle,
You're saving yourself,
then you're saving yourself like
20
70,
million to that, yeah.
well, yeah, or total signing bonus, like like if they draft a stud edge at 32,
Well, it depends how good they are, how quickly.
Correct,
Like what
yeah.
years you get
but
those real
like
value.
let's say so Jalen Carter.
Yeah, that's
Jalen Carter's going to
yeah.
get like I don't know 130 million guaranteed,
maybe
like,
more.
He's going to get an absurd amount of guarantees.
He's going to get 40 million a year. Like
yeah,
he'll
get
that,
massive money. But with safety, I think while it's the biggest need, you don't get as much of a cost effectiveness there. But the flip side of that is Quinyon and Cooper are also going to get paid a ton of money.
Mhm.
So Reed Blankenship, I think, is going to get an extension. Like that's going to be a decent sized contract. It's not going to be. I mean, maybe he gets what Justin Reed gets, but probably
He'll
not.
get less.
Yeah, but so it's not like a huge amount of money. Although Blankenship's a good player.
I like.
Yeah,
I'm
like
a Reed guy. Yeah,
he's like you're
Really
definitely fine
solid
with him
dude.
being your starting safety.
solid
Right.
dude. Yep.
Yeah, I do wonder if he goes from like, wow, what a solid, great underpaid guy to oh my god,
Oh, a
he's
little
making 12
overplay.
million. Yeah, but so I think the benefit of
And
drafting.
you know what? Real quick, good for him. Like
For
you
sure.
don't see a lot.
Undrafted guy, yeah,
Undrafted guy getting like a contract. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
it is.
You know,
I mean, you want to talk about
you never
like,
have.
worked his way up.
Like think about who's the last Eagle undrafted guy who actually. I mean, because Corey Clement had the
Corey
year,
Clement didn't
but
get
he
a
never
deal.
got. Like who was
TJ
the,
Edwards. It wasn't
okay,
with
you're
the
right. Was with
Eagles.
the Eagles, but you're right. TJ
He
Edwards
got
was the
paid.
last
Yeah.
Eagles undrafted guy got paid, but prior to that, like it's rare. Is the point. It's rare for an
It's
undrafted.
funny. Like obviously, my Lotta doesn't count.
He's drafted.
No, I know, but
I
he
know,
was drafted.
of
Wasn't the
course,
last?
yeah, but like it is rare for an undrafted
Yes.
guy to get to the second contract. with the team.
100%.
It's cool to see.
and also he plays and starts all the time.
Yeah.
But the benefit of Malachi Starks would be, or whoever safety they draft. There's a safety wose name I can't remember out of Notre Dame that I really like, but I think it's something
Like you say Notre Dame instead of Notre Dame.
Notre.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that not how it's said?
It's classy.
Notre.
I don't know.
I feel like if you,
Most people say
I
Notre
actually
Dame.
think I've been to the Notre.
Well,
Dame.
yeah, Notre Dame in France. Yeah, it's
I feel like I
Paris,
was there.
yeah.
Pretty sure. I mean, I've
Before
been-
it burned down or after?
Oh, I definitely was there because it was before.
Yeah.
Because I remember talking to my grandma about how it burned down.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, this is like all types of roundabout pod.
Yeah.
Malachi
That's
Starks.
what we're doing. Today.
Malachi Starks can be a really nice cost-effective option when you're paying other guys a lot of money.
Uh-huh.
You know, like when
Yeah.
you're paying Quinyon and Cooper a lot of money, Reed a lot of money, comparatively. Like Malachi Starks on a rookie deal would be awesome.
Yeah.
But like I think after safety, I think it's defensive tackle.
Okay. So
And I like Moro Jamo.
right now there's really only three guys you can count. I mean, I know they have Thomas Booker here or whatever,
Yeah,
but
he's
it's
a nice player.
yeah, it's Jalen Carter, Moro Jamo, and Jordan Davis. That's it. They
Right.
are light there, you know,
Yeah.
in terms of guys you can feel good
And
about.
also,
in terms of the future and all
Right.
that.
so Moro Jamo, I think can give you a Milton Williams gave you last year.
Well, I mean, that high?
I
I
think so,
like
yeah.
Moro Jama a lot, but I think maybe like in 2 years he can give you a Milton.
I think he can give you mostly what Milton gave you.
Okay.
But obviously I'm high on him. That's a projection. The question is like Jordan Davis. So Jordan Davis, if I were the Eagles, I would pick up his 5th-year option. I think like $12 million a year for Jordan Davis right now, I think is not an overpay. Like if he's this guy right now, I don't think 12 million is. But I think about your pre-draft thoughts on him. Like he is an ultra athletic defense. Like I think it is more likely a year from now he is worth more than less.
I agree with
I
you.
think like his market could potentially, like if he has a really good year, now all of a sudden you're talking about like big time.
Yeah.
And so getting him at 12 million, I would pick up the 5th year option.
I think so too. Well, especially where this team is at from a defensive tackle perspective. Even if they draft someone, you have no guarantees how quickly.
Good guy. He's been in the building.
And Moro Jama, we like. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I project him to be good too, but he's still a 7th-round pick a year ago.
Correct.
You know, like so.
I think you ideally are drafting at 32 the starter next to Jalen Carter, and then your backups are Jordan Davis and Moro Jama. But just really last thing I'd say about Jordan Davis, like if he hit the open market right now, I don't think he'd get 12 million a year, but I think he'd probably get 8, 9, 10, like right now.
Mhm.
And I think next year he could be worth more.
Look, he's gotten better every single year.
Yeah,
since
I
he's
do
been
think
here.
he got better last year.
He definitely did.
I definitely like he
Get
got a sack
playoff
in the
game.
Super Bowl, or not the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the championship game.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I agree. It's funny. I think he had a sack in the 2022 Super Bowl.
Did he?
No,
I don't remember. Oh, they didn't have no sacks. They didn't have any in 2022.
Yeah, you're right. Good point. But he had a sack in another big game. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, no,
he's got it timing. He's good with
better.
timing.
All right. Coming up in a minute, we'll talk about some of the other team needs. When we get into the Goddard thing, what's going on?
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute too. But here we go. Mike Quick.
Here we go.
Seth Joyner, Jody Mack, Mark Zuma, Ron Ellis, Joe Conklin, and us, Ellie Churpark, James Seltzer, reminding you that even if your team doesn't score, ours did. There's always another way to win with the Bet Parks at the official sportsbook and online casino app of the Goedert Pod. The only one we use, the only one we recommend
for the tournament.
So I found a way to not lose all my money.
Nice.
I basically ended the weekend even.
Same. Well, no,
I was like way down. So I started bad, went way down, and then Saturday night kicked butt.
Yeah.
Like all 4 or 5 of those games, I had some parlays. I was cruising Saturday night, and then Sunday lost what I made back, and now I'm like back to where I started.
So I think the worst.
Double
I
down.
hit my big
Yeah.
I hit a second one big, and then I lost everything after that.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I could feel it. Like,
Well,
I was
the problem with that is then you're like, oh, let me make it back.
yeah.
Like, oh, there's more games. Let me bet on those games with the money I get. You know, yeah.
How do you? Is it McNissy?
McNeese.
McNissy. That was way wrong. Yeah. I bet them, and it was done in like
it was
2
disappointing.
minutes. Yeah,
I got
like
them
4
too.
minutes of the game.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, this is.
Yeah,
this
I
is
got
not
swayed
gonna
by
win.
the basketball manager with the aura.
Also, who did we? Was St. John's our team?
I don't remember.
I feel like we said St. John's was our team.
It was
we
our team.
did.
Yeah,
Wow, we couldn't
that
have
was a
done
tough
worse.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Did you see that basketball manager is switching schools?
The aura guy?
Yeah.
Is he really? He's going to a bigger
And
school?
honestly, here's my thing. Then we'll
Good for him.
move on to the
Yeah.
big part of it.
Yeah.
But the first time he walked out, he rapped the song. The second time he didn't, but I'd already placed my bet. But when I saw that he wasn't rapping, I was like, this is bad.
I wish I'd known for the second one. I bet him on the first one just because of him.
Okay, see, I didn't.
Yeah. All right. So get the BetParks app. And here's the amazing thing, though, because in addition to betting on all these sports, like we just talked about betting college basketball, baseball, tomorrow, the over-under pod coming out.
I know. You ready?
So I'm prepping.
Okay.
I'm working on it. I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
But I'll get there. But in addition, you got a casino right in the palm of your hand. You play games like blackjack, craps, roulette.
Baccarat. 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 Baccarat.
Why are you whispering?
Hold on. Back. Yeah, there you go. Right.
My love.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Quite all right. I need you.
So that's why I was
baby.
whispering
Is
the
that
first
Tom
little
Jones?
part, because I feel like the first part's more like.
Is that Tom Jones?
I just know it was Heath Ledger in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes.
I mean, I know he was covering it, but
Right,
think he
all
wrote it.
right, I
Yeah.
need you,
there you go.
baby.
That was. I thought that was a gettable.
Trust in me. Yeah, it's a great one.
Did you get it, Tucker? You didn't chime in.
I
Is it-
did get it.
is
It's
it
Frankie Valley.
Frankie Valley. Frankie Valley.
10 Things I Hate About You. Great movie.
Very good movie.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
I think like that and Can't Hardly Wait are forever tied together in my head.
Well, yeah, there are a lot. That was like
Right,
the-
like that time. Like I feel like
Sure.
every time I watch 10 Things I Hate About You, I want to watch Can't Hardly Wait.
I could see that.
So we haven't kept a record, but you definitely got that one.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
I got that one. So it's good. I've only missed the one, which counted as a miss.
You have got to go back and listen to this.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. All right, so to Baccarat,
Yeah.
all the casino action at your fingertips. You play hot online slot games like Squid Game, Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders, Ted, based on your favorite streaming shows and movies. New users, listen to this deal. Download the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Get up to $1,000. Yes, $1,000. I love a good
yeah
from Elliot. In casino
Big
bonus back.
approval thing.
Yeah, it's great.
Yoda
Unless
one.
it's Yoda Gam.
Yeah.
If you're down in the first 24 hours, casino bonus must be wagered. See betparks.com for the details. You must be 21 in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Go on, Andrew Gambler.
So it's March.
It is March, Elliot, and the weather is changing.
It is.
It is actually really starting to change. Like we're like one day off to wear a jacket, the next day I don't.
It feels really springy sometimes.
It does, which means it's a critical time to check your home's windows. If they're cracked, leaking, won't stay open, you gotta call Window Nation.
Yes, you do. But if you're tired of frigid drafts coming through the windows, or if you're frustrated by higher and higher energy bills, it's time to call Window Nation.
See, because here's the thing: AC weather's coming. Like we're on the precipice.
We're pretty much. No, we're not
AC.
there yet.
We're not there yet.
No,
we're not. We're not. Let's be real. We're not.
We're not.
But we're gonna be
Yeah.
real soon. And you know what's the worst? When that AC is leaking out your windows. It's like, why even pay for it?
Burning money.
Yeah, that's right. And listen to this. You know what's great? Free stuff right now. Get 2 windows free for every 2 you buy. Plus the ultimate free, 0 down and no payments or interest for 2 years. It is insane. You can get new windows installed in 1 day and not pay anything until 2027.
That's wild.
That's future use.
That sounds
problem.
so much in the future.
Now you is super happy.
Yeah.
Future you can deal with that later.
And it's not even that much anymore.
Yeah, imagine what you could do with all that extra money in your pocket, plus guaranteed for life.
So hurry up. The sale ends March 31st. So don't miss out on your chance to take advantage of the buy 2, get 2 free and pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your fast estimate right now at 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com.
Love it.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
Love
it.
Love, all caps, love, period, all caps, it,
Yes.
period. That's how I feel about it.
Do you have anything else with the Eagles?
No, that's it.
Other needs. Goddard.
Yeah, I want to get to Goddard's tech, but quickly other needs, and I guess tight end could be looped in that. But
I don't think they have any other big time needs.
I know.
So here was like a
Kendall Lamb they added. They're all set.
Yeah,
now.
I think it's
He's
gonna
the
be
new
Darian
Fred Johnson.
Kennard.
Essentially,
I think it's gonna be Darian Kennard.
Will be the new Fred.
Yeah, I think Lamb
Lamb is more of a
it's
vet.
like a try it out, see what
Sure.
happens. Maybe
Sure.
Kennard's not great. Maybe Lamb's awesome. I don't think
It's
he's
like the LaRaven Clark.
Yeah,
type
he's not
signing.
good. Like he's not guaranteed
You
to
like
make
that,
the
Paul?
roster. That
So
was a good pull.
It's like the same idea, right? Just kind of veteran come in, see what I
Yeah, I think he'll probably. Well, I used to probably. I think he'll be on the bubble going in.
Okay.
If not a long shot. But here's like an underrated draft thing for you. How high would you draft a receiver? Because I don't.
One more year.
I don't think they're
Dotson's
trading
gone, right?
Devontae anytime soon.
No, but Dotson's gone after a year, right? He's one more year, and then
Correct.
they won't pick up the 5th year option with him. I would assume.
AJ,
So you're gonna need another receiver in a year, is the point.
AJ, I think look, he's arguably the best player on the team, like Saquon, whatever. AJ's unbelievable. But like a year from now, I don't know. He's like missed some times with knee problems. There's like rumblings of a trade.
So I from what I understand, and again, you've done more draft research than I have. This is not the best receiver draft. It seems like they're certainly not high end wise. Like the middle of the draft, there might be guys, but they're not a lot. There's only 2 receivers projected to go in the first round. They're not, and they're like, it seems like, oh, let's push them up because we don't have anyone else there. So like, I'd rather go for a stronger receiver draft if I'm going to do that. Now maybe the middle rounds are great. And you can get a kind of a value there.
I don't know if like you have to draft one to develop. Like you would love to have him in the building for a year, but let's say a year from now they move on from AJ surprisingly or Dotson's gone. Like I think you can just kind of plug and play.
I agree with
relatively quickly.
All right. So what about the Goddard thing?
Oh wait, here's one more draft take.
Yeah, please.
Like I don't think they're drafting an offensive line in the first round. I do not think they're.
So I don't either.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I definitely don't think it'll be a tackle. Like maybe it's someone if they think is like can be one of like the top 10 guards in the NFL right away. Like then maybe you take them. But
you probably don't trade.
I think
for
they're just going to try
Green
Kenyon Green and Tyler Steen and all that. So Goddard.
And look, Lane's going to be here through 2027.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're not. We had this debate last year. I think we're actually on the same page of it. But like it was a discussion last year of like drafting someone that won't play. And I don't think Howie will ever draft a first round pick that has a clear roadblock to play.
I don't know about ever. I think it's more likely like the 2027 draft. If he knows that Lane's going to play his last year, he might draft someone then.
But he's never done it. Like we talked so many years about Lane's replacement.
Right, but I'm
trying to think of a rookie he's drafted.
Well, I mean, look, he
you could argue Carson. But
look, well, he drafted like I mean,
Jalen in the second round, that's a high level asset.
yeah, Jalen in the second round's a good one.
Yeah, I think it's different than a first round pick.
It is.
But,
it is.
But I mean, he always drafts guys that, I mean, Quinion and Cooper played like every snap.
Mhm.
Like, Cooper's a second round pick, but Quinion like right away. Remember, there was times last year, and obviously we were wrong. We were sitting here and being like, well, maybe Quinion will have
I generally agree in general, but I think when it comes to the offensive line, like I do think that if there's a prospect that Howie loved to tackle,
maybe
not this year, but next year, the year after, when Lane is, because Lane will not play forever. Like, as much as like,
for sure.
So like, I do think that
And
Howie
they do
would
like
know
the-
better than we do. I do think that he will plan for Lane's departure in one way or another.
Yeah,
I just don't think we're there.
I agree. I do not think it'll be an offensive tackle in the draft.
I don't either.
With Goedert, we're at, right?
Yeah,
So here's my thoughts on Goedert. Like, I just hope they work it out.
me too.
like
it's like at this point, especially after losing all the other guys, it's like, all right,
Yeah.
we're good. Like,
I
keep this
think
guy.
I think both have found
Even if it's a Josh Sweat thing, right? Like last year with
Yes.
Josh Sweat, it was like we get to the point with Josh Sweat where he was
was
it Instagram or what?
undervalued. Yeah,
He said goodbye. He's
Yes.
like, it's been real, Philly, or whatever the hell
Right.
he tweeted or
Yeah.
or DM'd or Instagrammed, I mean, or whatever it was. Like, and then he was back. Like, you mentioned this too. Like, just up his contract for a year. Like, whatever you got to do.
my only
like,
worry is, and I don't have a concrete answer on this, but my only worry is if the Eagles have just decided to move on.
yeah.
And if they have, like, I just don't like that decision.
I
Like,
do need.
I do like Harrison Bryant. I do like Kylan Granson, the other tight end they
Yep.
signed. Like, and honestly, I like EJ Jenkins a lot. Like,
Mhm.
Grant Calc, like, I like their tight ends, but Goddard's just better than all of them.
Yeah.
Like, he
And
just
he's also,
is.
and also all of those guys. I don't know about Granton as well. Much
He's
about
played quite a bit, if
But-
that's where you're going.
No. I'm
Okay.
going to all those guys are receiving tight ends. Like, they don't have.
Yeah, Granson
anyone
can
like,
block somewhat.
Okay,
but
good.
yes,
But the point is, like, they don't. Like, that's the thing about Goddard that makes him
yeah,
so.
Goddard is the best receiving tight end and the best blocking tight end on their roster right now.
And if you're gonna get rid of Beckham, which again neither of us liked, but we're like, all right, fine, you know,
Right.
Stoutland, whatever. Like, maybe don't get rid of your great blocking tight end at the same time.
I hope both sides can now realize they are better together.
Well, I do think the fact that Goddard's side was able to test out the market and come back.
There obviously isn't a natural fit. Like,
Yeah.
if there was a side that was super excited to get Dallas, that
Mhm.
was also willing to,
he wouldn't be here.
he wouldn't be here. He would not be here. Like, now maybe is it like both sides have kind of wink nodded and said, like, after June 1st we'll trade you, maybe, but I just hope they keep him. Like, he's not making that much money, and it comes back to the cash thing where he is making a lot of cash this year, but
It's 1 year.
I can
It's
only
1 year, get
co-sign-
over it.
I can only co-sign the cash thing so far.
Totally.
Like, you know,
Especially
like,
when you've had this.
if you want to not
offseason
pay
this whole way.
Myles Garrett, like, okay, then we can talk, right?
Yeah.
But like,
we're talking about a few million extra one way or another
Correct.
from
They-
what it would be. Like, if
just
you want
won-
to pay him 7 and it's 10 or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we're
they
not
just
talking-
won the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
He just sold 8.
He was your
Jeffrey.
best receiver in
Well,
the
and
playoffs.
Jeffrey just sold 8% of the team or
Yeah,
whatever.
for like he got $1 billion
Yeah, so-
in pocket.
I just think Dallas is better here. I think the Eagles are better with Dallas Goddard.
And
And look, is he going to miss time? Yes. Although, you want to guess what percentage of games he's played in his career?
Is it not as much? He's not missed as much as you would
Yeah,
think.
so he'll kill the guess.
Yeah, well, it's usually. I feel like it's usually like 3 or 4 he misses in a
It's
year.
like 80% of the games.
Yeah,
he's been
that sounds
available.
about right. That's right. Yeah,
Right. But the tough part is, and I will say, it feels like when he's hurt, it's never like one game, then he's back.
it's always a month or 6 weeks
Yes,
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
It just it's
um,
tough time.
One other thing I'll say, and we always do this, and it's funny because I feel like this is you do this a lot.
Yes.
But it always has to be a caveat, and it's true. The caveat is true. Like, don't do things to make the fans happy. But when you've lost all these guys, and there is a general kind of like annoyance among the fan base,
Yeah.
like, and there's a guy who makes sense to keep, like, everyone will feel so much better if you keep Dallas Goedert. Like, this fan base, it'll be
People
like,
will
all
be
right,
very
I know
happy.
we lost those guys, but at least
Yeah.
you didn't get rid of Goddard like we thought you were going
When
to. Like,
it's
it'll make a
announced he's coming
difference.
back, people will
It will
be
make
very
a
happy.
difference.
Yeah,
Like,
and he's a great vibe guy. Like, honestly, if you want to draft a tight end, like, I think Goddard would be great to like help the guy along.
and even if
learn
he
and-
wouldn't, I think that Goddard would understand. You know,
Yes.
Goddard was that guy. Goddard
here-
came in with Ertz and knows that, like, that's the NFL and that's the way it works.
But here's like the tough thing is like, so Calcaterra, none of these guys are locks, but like Calcaterra is going to be on the
I think he
roster.
is the by far the most likely. I think Harrison Bryant. I think those two guys will be on the
And-
roster.
yeah. And I haven't seen the money for Granson. None of these guys got
I
a ton
can't
of
imagine
money.
Granson got that.
I
much.
agree, but the tough part of it is if you look at it since Sirianni's gotten here, the guys they signed in the first week of free agency, something like 75% of them have made the roster.
Mhm.
And like Devin White
It's
retired.
infallible though. Devin White didn't make the roster.
No, you're right. I didn't include him, but one of them retired. The receiver,
Parker.
Devontae Parker
Yep.
retired. Like, there's been a few, but ultimately, I just don't like the money aside. When they're pitching Kylan Granson on coming here, the thought I would guess is not, hey, you can come and try out. My guess it's a lot of like, we don't expect Dallas to be here. You know, we signed Harrison Bryant. Like we view a 3-room type. So, and then there's EJ Jenkins, who I thought was awesome in camp last year. Got on the field. Didn't even have he didn't have a touchdown. He did. Yeah, he had a touchdown
in
right?
the Tanner McKee game.
Yeah. So I like him a lot too.
Maybe it was the Kenny
get to
Pickett
a
game,
certain
one of the two,
point.
but I think it was the Tanner McKee game.
I just wonder if they've gotten to a point where they're like, we really like Granson, we really like Bryant, we really like Calcaterra, we really like EJ Jenkins. Like, I think Goedert's the best of all of them. I just wonder how they view this. Like the moves are speaking to Goedert being gone, and maybe
Without
it's too
a
late.
doubt,
But maybe it's too late to change their mind. Like,
well,
I
hope they can, and I hope they don't go down this road and say, well, we're pot committed to this side and just not.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. I hope they have a willingness to adjust.
I totally agree.
One positive, and this is like a very Elliott thing, but Goedert was just in Atlantic City with Brandon Graham, like doing Super Bowl trophy stuff.
Oh,
like,
I agree with you.
At the very least, it's not like he's like livid at the organization.
Dude, I think that's I actually really think that's
I thought it was a good, and I think BG's a perfect guy to talk to him too. If Dallas is upset and is like, hey, like it's a business. I almost left.
Yeah, honestly, I like that.
Thank you.
Making me feel better about things.
Any of the Eagle stuff?
That's all I got.
All right.
Final thoughts?
Yeah. I have so many good ones. It's
God,
hard. Okay. All right. Actually, I almost texted you this.
I love an almost text, but then not.
So I was going to text it.
I had like 5 that different times where I was like, I got to write this in my notes app and I didn't. And I'm so mad. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So Tucker, you'll appreciate this too. But there's the 3 people in the world that'll appreciate this most are you, Tucker, and Devin.
I love this.
Devin's not here. I almost texted it to you two a bunch of times. I watched Wicked.
Okay.
It was unbelievable.
Oh God!
It was so good. Like it was like
I should have known you were gonna love it.
Like
I still haven't seen it.
The music has not been in my head the way I thought, but like I'm excited for part 2. I'm happy they're doing
totally
a part 2.
Flipped.
Like it was like the ending. Like, I'm not. It's not a spoiler,
so
but
disappointed in you.
Like I was
Stick to your freaking
so in on it.
Stick to your freaking guns.
All right, so here's my final.
So disappointed.
Here's my final thought off of this.
Okay,
and this is where I
stick to your freaking guns. Dude. I support musicals though.
Well, I heard this on the morning show that people were being anti-musical. Or maybe no, it was Tom Kelly was saying there was too much music in Wicked. Like, first of all, it's a musical,
man. What are you talking about?
And the music was awesome. But all right, Ariana Grande as Glinda, or Glinda,
I'm very nervous.
Is the closest I've seen since Heath Ledger was the Joker in terms of like someone becoming their role.
Oh my God.
Now, the guy who played Elvis is also there. Those are the 3 examples in my lifetime. And Freddie Mercury was also very good. But like, dude, I'm telling you, Ariana Grande in this movie, like literally
a fake person. What do you mean becoming the person?
Like Heath Ledger gets discussed as like he became the Joker, right? Like
I know what you're trying to do.
Like
she's nowhere in the hemisphere of Heath Ledger.
You haven't seen it.
You're right. Like, and I will watch
it. The guy that plays Elvis is a good example. He had to like learn how to stop talking.
Yes,
like that's another good.
He was. Yeah, I'm gonna guess.
I'm telling you,
was much better.
Ariana Grande as Glinda was unbelievable. And like it wasn't like a super hard.
I'm sure she was good.
Yeah,
but like you're taking this way too far.
I don't think I am. When you see it, I think she basically became Glinda.
I'm okay.
I mean, just physically too. Like I don't know what to tell you. It was unbelievable.
There's nothing to tell me.
The other witch was also very good.
Yeah, Cynthia Erivo.
The one thing I was saying to Kristen when we were watching it was like, do you think she was green when they were filming, or do you think they added like CGI to her skin after? Because it would be pretty crazy to shoot a movie with someone where the whole thing is they're green, and but I think she was green.
I think they painted her.
Yeah,
every
day. Well, I don't know. It's hard
on stage for Wicked. It's this
theater
show.
But like when you see her, it doesn't. It's the best paint job I've ever seen.
Well, I'm sure it's enhanced by
it's probably enhanced somewhat.
Of course, it is. Yes.
Well, another great part of Ariana Grande's acting job is like.
Oh yes, that's what it is.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm surprised you haven't seen it. This seems like
I'm gonna see it was it wasn't free forever. It was I couldn't take it to the theater, so it just came out on Peacock.
All right, let me give you one more thought, and then we'll. All right, this isn't
going to watch it.
This isn't really. This is not a spoiler.
And I I love musicals. It's just more like
I want to go see the play.
You just see something, and then you're just like, that's the greatest thing ever. It's like so consistent.
I love enjoying things.
You do.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Dude,
you love to enjoy things, and then go way over the top of that great thing.
So in the movie,
it's like your thing.
The Good Witch, Glinda. I'm definitely mispronouncing that. But
no, I don't think you are.
She buys her like own suite at this like witch college or whatever. So she's supposed to be by herself. And then the headmaster just is like, nah, the Wicked Witch is actually gonna live with you. And like Ariana Grande gets painted as being like mean for not wanting this girl to live with her. I feel like if I paid for a suite at college and all of a sudden this random person is moving in, I'd be not super happy about
I don't
that.
disagree with
Right?
that.
Like I paid the money to have privacy, and like the day of, you're like, oh, by the way, she's
Yeah, I think that's kind of outrageous.
and not even about the
Yeah.
Wicked Witch, just the person in
Just
general.
anybody. It wouldn't matter who. You could have anyone come in and be outrageous.
Anyway, part 2, I'm there. Win all the Oscars.
You're
I don't
so
care
easy.
anymore.
You're so
I don't care
easy to
anymore.
please.
It's so good.
Should we have a Go Birds event for part 2?
Should we go watch Wicked with all the Go Birds
Yeah,
listeners?
I'm sure
By that, it'll be
I'm
like
sure
me, you, Drew.
I'm sure
and, like,
people will show up for that
Yeah,
one. Yeah, come watch
exactly.
Wicked with us.
Dude, wait till you watch it. You
I'm-
love
I'm-
musicals.
I
You
love
loved
musicals.
Hamilton.
Oh, I'm sure I'll like it. I'm sure
yeah.
I'll like it. I don't know if I'll love it, but I'm sure I'll like it.
All right.
I'm excited to see it.
Anyway, I've been waiting to tell you.
It's
that
just
for-
more funny for you to be like Mr. Flip Around.
Well, it's funny because before we watched it, Chris was like, "You have to promise you won't like the music." Because I sang Hamilton in our house for like
Hamilton's amazing.
4 years.
Hamilton's,
You know,
Hamilton's
but I haven't been doing it. Although, like,
yeah, the songs. So I've heard
Popular.
Wicked. I've
It's good.
heard like yeah.
Yeah.
Wanna be popular.
yeah, that one's good. and then
Define
there's one
Gravity's
about-
a great
yeah,
song.
Dude, Define Gravity.
Define Gravity is a great.
Unbelievable.
So I've heard the soundtrack work. I've listened to it. Like I agree with you. Like the songs are not as good as like
They're
Hamilton.
not.
Or,
They're
like,
not. But they are
Rent's
good.
songs
Yeah.
were and stuff.
They are good.
But yeah,
They're not as catchy.
yeah. Define Gravity is a great song.
Yes.
That's a great song. Speaking of songs, I'll go with one of these. This is just a random one, but because always discovering music and all that.
Right.
Party in the USA is a banger.
It is. Dude, you don't have
That
to tell me.
song
That song
freaking
is
kicks ass.
such a good vibe.
It's a
great
song.
sing along bar song.
Totally.
Great wedding song.
Totally. Like
Yeah.
Party in the USA is an
$1
absolute
for-
banger.
Every time I heard that song at a bar in Mania,
It's so
like,
great.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Miley. He did it.
Classic.
Yeah.
It's an unbelievable song.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, there we
Nice
go.
easy
Yeah, yeah,
follow.
no, I mean it is. Like
Song
I wish
rocks.
I could fight you on it, but
I
it is.
rarely come to you with songs like that.
Yeah.
that I'm like, you know what? This song's freaking awesome. I'm trying to. This is perfect. Give me songs that Zoe will like. I thought she would like that. She loved it. I played
Have you
it.
heard "Thank You"?
California
Next by Ariana
Girls.
Grande?
I knew she would love
"Thank
that.
You" next. I think she'd really like.
That's good.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
give me stuff.
This is
that
my
Zoe-
wheelhouse.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Get me a list because I want her to like music. She likes
Yeah.
music.
Thank
I
You
told
next.
you
is
that the
definitely
Bruno
first
Mars,
one. Bruno
Rose
Mars.
song she loved. The
The-
APT I brought up as a final thought. That,
Oh, what about the 24
but,
Karat
but
Magic?
but
or-
that's a good song.
That's a good one.
Yeah, just
24
give me a
Karat.
list.
Yeah, I'll
it's good.
flip one.
It's good.
Holler
Yeah.
Back Girl. I think it'd be a
Oh,
fun
that
one.
could be a good one. Yeah. So she loves Lady Gaga. She loves
Gwen
what
Stefani,
Blackpink. I told you that she loves Black.
I
so
don't know that.
they're a K-pop band. So
Okay,
Rose,
alright.
the girl who did the song Bruno Mars, is from Blackpink. From
Okay.
the girl sang at the Oscars, Lisa.
Oh yes, well she's in White Lotus.
Okay, so
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
she's in Blackpink.
Okay.
She's part of Blackpink.
Yes, because she was at
She's dating the billionaire, the French billionaire's
like, in
son,
real life. or in,
Arnold.
like, a-
Yeah, in
Okay.
real life. Anyway, there you go.
All right, I'll put together a Zoe list.
I love this. Thanks, Zoe. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Baseball over unders pod coming tomorrow, and